Hello to our thousands of summit attendees worldwide. Good morning to our American attendees, good afternoon to our European attendees, and good evening and even good night to our APAC attendees. Welcome to all SolidCAM branches staff, affiliates and resellers staff, partners, customers, and prospects. You will watch today and tomorrow our best and brightest, telling you about SolidCAM company, its products, its strategy, and its future directions. You will get an in-depth view of the SolidCAM product, and especially its latest and greatest version, SolidCAM 2021. SolidCAM 2021 SP1 was released yesterday to all our customers on subscription. And for all our customers not on subscription, I deeply recommend to you to get back on subscription to get all the advantages of this latest version. Regarding SolidCAM strategy, we have been concentrating from 2020 and definitely much more powerfully in 2021 to provide the best CAM solution for advanced manufacturing, mainly advanced mill turn and switch type applications that have been aggressively growing in the last few years. Most machine shops are introducing advanced mill turn CNC machine to speed up their production and provide better machine parts. SolidCAM today provides the best CAM solution for this niche and the best technical and post support by its worldwide network. As you all know, a successful CAM solution stands on two legs: an excellent product and excellent technical support. SolidCAM provides the best in both. Have the patience to watch it all, or at least most, and we promise you will thoroughly enjoy it. And as you know, when SolidCAM staff or resellers promise, they always deliver. Ask all our long-term happy customers about it. Now let's start. In the next hour, I will be talking about the SolidCAM company, its branches and affiliates, and its valued resellers all over the world. We are all here to give you, our valued present and future customers, the best CAM tool and the best ongoing technical support for your ever-important continued success. Okay, so let's start with the presentation about SolidCAM 2021 and strategy for 2021. Let me start with a statement that includes all the main points about SolidCAM. SolidCAM is the complete, and I'll be showing soon why it's complete, easy to use and actually both easy to learn and to use CAM solution with revolutionary iMachining. This is the patented technology that nobody else has, and I will show its advantages, and advanced machining support. By this I mean support for advanced mill turn and switch type, seamlessly integrated in the great SolidWorks, the best CAD, 3D CAD in the world today, and we are seamlessly integrated inside SolidWorks. I said we provide a complete solution, and as you see in this pieces of Lego, you see our basic solution is 2.5D milling. It's connected to SolidWorks, and all the other pieces of Lego are also connected depending on what the customer wants, starting from 3D milling HSR, 3D milling HSM, 3D milling HSS. These are all our tools for 3D milling. And then you have iMachining 2D and iMachining 3D, a must for every customer, 5-axis simultaneous machine simulation, turning, and eventually also advanced mill turn and switch type, automatic feature oriented machining, and our solid probe module. Basically, we say the SolidCAM is the one CAM solution for all your CNC machines. You could start with 2.5D, go to 3D, go to 4-axis indexial, 5-axis indexial, 5-axis simultaneous, and finally to advanced mill turn and switch type. Basically, as you grow to our further modules, we increase the value for you, our customer. Okay, we said we are seamlessly integrated in SolidWorks and that this is a major advantage for us. Let's compare our integration with the other products that compete with us. You see in this chart, SolidCAM is the first one. We are integrated in SolidWorks, and we have no own CAD system, which means to sell SolidCAM to our customer, he needs to get SolidWorks, either buying the SolidWorks from a commercial SolidWorks reseller or buying a bundle for us since we have an OEM agreement with SolidWorks since 2003. The next, and by the way, SolidCAM also is certified Gold and CAM product inside SolidWorks since 2003. Let's see our next competitor is CAMWorks. They also have the same strategy. Only integrated in SolidWorks, no own CAD system. I will talk later what our advantage over CAMWorks, and there are many of them. Regarding integration, we are in the same level. Hypermill, it's integrated in SolidWorks, but it has also its own CAD system. So basically what happens when Hypermill goes to sell and they are under price pressure, they always choose their own CAD system, which means in the end, they nearly don't sell their integration with SolidWorks. And as you know, software that is not being further developed deteriorates. And in the end, it looks like have integration, but they don't really use it much. Same is exactly with MasterCAM. They say they have integration with SolidWorks, but since they have their own CAD system, they push their own CAD system, and rarely do you find a customer using MasterCAM with SolidWorks. And even their resellers push the own CAD system of MasterCAM. Sometimes, if the customer has already SolidWorks and he wants to be shown the integration, they start in the demonstration with the integration, and then they move to their own CAD system. In the end, if the customer decides to buy, they sell their own CAD system. Why is it not good to have own CAD system? Because there is no way that a CAM company can develop their CAD to a level that reaches even minutely the level of SolidWorks. So basically, all the customers buying CAM system with their own CAD have basic CAD, limited CAD capability. Next, Inventor Spaced CAM. You know, we have our product Inventor CAM, which is basically SolidCAM integrated in Inventor. So Autodesk have this product called Inventor Spaced CAM, so that they don't violate our trademark. But anyway, obviously they have no integration with neither SolidWorks, but they use Inventor. Esprit, which is our main competitor in the mill-turn, advanced mill-turn and Swiss market, they have no integration with SolidWorks, only a basic own CAD system. Same Top Solid, same with Siemens NX. So basically, SolidCAM rules like a king in the domain of SolidWorks, except with CAMWorks, but SolidCAM, as I said, have major advantages over CAMWorks. Mainly, CAMWorks is weak in mill-turn and have no support, real support for Swiss type. And their method of doing automatic feature recognition and machining is very, very complicated. I don't want to waste time going over it right now. Okay, let's look at the SolidCAM company profile. We have been at it for 37 years, and we have 230 staff worldwide. Our headquarters in Israel. In Europe, we have a branch, SolidCAM GmbH, with 7 offices. And we have an international support team in Serbia that supports in the best way possible all our resellers worldwide. They have 8 staff, really powerful staff. And we have also in Europe 4 affiliated companies, SolidCAM UK, SolidCAM France, SolidCAM Czech Republic, and SolidCAM Italy. What is an affiliated company? It's basically a reseller of ours that started in the beginning selling SolidCAM, and we were so happy with him, and he was happy with us, that we enabled him to use our name, and he gave us some percentage in his company. In the US, we have our own branch, SolidCAM Incorporated. In Asia Pacific, we have SolidCAM India, SolidCAM Japan, and SolidCAM China, and affiliated companies SolidCAM Australia, New Zealand, SolidCAM Singapore, Korea, and SolidCAM Taiwan. To sum it up, today we have more than 21,000 industrial seats, 53,000 educational seats, and a worldwide CAM distributor network with 65 major resellers who have also sub-resellers, 5 branches, and 9 affiliates. Let's look at SolidCAM GmbH, which is our biggest branch. They are responsible for Germany, Austria, and Switzerland market. They sell directly, and they also have many resellers for this region. And as you see, many of our branches in Germany have also a technological center, 3 branches have technology center. Let's look at the machines of the main technology center in Schramberg, Germany. They have a Hermele simultaneous 5-axis CNC machine where they test iMachining, also 5-axis cutting. And since we concentrate on the mill-turn market, we have also bought a DMG NTX 1000 multi-turret, multi-spindle machine to check our mill-turn functionality and also actually to show it to resellers who visit, also to customer days when it was possible before this period where everything is done online. And the latest visitor to our technology center, I call it visitor because we did not buy it. We have a good relation with Citizen Germany, and they liked our support for Citizen, so they loaned us a Citizen Cincom D25 Swiss type machine to put in our technology center. We use it for benchmarking, live cutting, developing post-processor, and many other activities. Few facts about SolidCAM Germany. We have 70 employees. As I said, it's our biggest reseller from the point of view of a branch. They have 70 employees, including 10 post-processor developers, 18 application engineers, and 15 salespeople. They have installed more than 6,000 industrial seats in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, and they have over 12,000 educational seats. Next comes SolidCAM Incorporated, our own branch in the US. They have 35 staff, and they have a very nice marketing based on the word solid. So they call their support Solid Care, and it's basically focused mainly on giving web support. The entire support team is thoroughly proficient at web meetings, and this is what I encourage all our resellers worldwide. Even though maybe you are living in a smaller country and you can't go visit the customer, in this age, you know, challenging age where customers sometimes don't like visits because of the corona problem, please make sure to use web support for most of your technical support. In the United States, we had to do it this way because of the big distances involved. It's not possible to arrive to every customer, and we got very proficient at it, working the last 11 years doing web support. We have also live chat with the customers. We have hundreds of online step-by-step videos on our website and YouTube. And we also have one of our technical employees who runs a night school for after-hours live podcast. And all his videos, it's called KevCam, are on YouTube. Next, they packaged our modules in a specific way to make it very clear to the customer. They call it solid packages. So they have like 2.5D Basic, 2.5D Pro, 3D Mill Basic, 3D Mill Pro. With all other modules, they have standard version and the Pro version, and it's make it more clear to customers what they are getting. What they provide with Solid training is mainly, again, training online that is sold according to number of hours every time. And a few times, especially sometimes when we have complicated installations like for Swiss type, we could give also training on site by one of our technical people. And they have also a nice program for Solid certification, where customers can get a certification. We have 3 levels in certification, and customers love this. We have in the US already total customers 1,816, percentage on subscription 79%, a very nice level of subscription. We have tooling partners like Iskar, Kennametal, Guring. We have CNC machine partners like Star, Citizen, Hermele, and we all have good relation also with the holders partner RegoFix. We always, when we have an exhibition in the US, we bring sometimes a small machine, and these people of the holders also show there. Our first affiliate worldwide was SolidCAM UK. It was formed in 2002 by Gordon Drysdale and Mark Stokes, 2 very capable people, and they became our reseller since 2002. At that time, our integration with SolidWorks was not even yet gold. You know, we got the gold partnership in 2003. And some interesting anecdote, they started first trying to sell CAMWorks, and they gave up after a couple of months because of all the problems of the technology database of CAMWorks and the fact that it was difficult to customize this technology database, and it was really giving a lot of operations that the customer doesn't know where they came from, so they gave up and they took SolidCAM. And they have been really successful. Today, they grew to 15 total staff that include 2 sales staff and a very powerful team of 6 technical and post-processor staff. For example, they just hired a couple of months ago 2 post writers for Swiss type that came from Russia to work in England in SolidCAM UK, and they are doing an excellent job. They have a total of 2,500 seats, both commercial and education, and 73 of their customers are on subscription. Again, a very nice achievement. SolidCAM UK also have built a very nice technology center. They were able to convince a machine tool company, Romi. It's a Brazilian company with also centers of production in Europe. Since Romi wanted to give a better name for Romi in England, so they loaned their machines to our technology center. So it's a win-win. We get to use the machines for benchmarking, for live cutting webinars, other activities, and Romi benefit because they get the name for Romi. Solid Solution is a big SolidWorks reseller in England. They have about 80% of the SolidWorks market, and they are also our partner with SolidCAM UK, under SolidCAM UK, CGTech, who produced a very cut product, toolmakers Iskar, shown also with Star, Heimer, Hoffman, and QuickRine. Also, SolidCAM UK have made sure to be a member of very important associations in the UK, and this gives the customer more confidence in SolidCAM UK because they have members of all these distinguished associations. This is something I recommend to all our resellers to do in their own countries. And now we talk about another type of reseller we have, which is usually a big SolidWorks reseller who decided to sell SolidCAM. We have many of them around the world. Tekias is the biggest one. They have been in business since 1994, and they are the first and the largest SolidWorks VAR in Turkey. They have 90 employees, and they are really a very powerful company. They started with SolidCAM from the start, I think from 2004 or 5. And today the SolidCAM team in Tekias includes 10 application engineers and 20 employees altogether. They have 4 direct sales reps, 2 inside sales reps, 1,500 customers who have 1,850 SolidCAM seats, a very nice achievement by any measure. They have also 7 local offices and training rooms all over Turkey, and they have also 6 sub-resellers. As I said, many of our major resellers have also sub-resellers in their own countries where they work with them. We usually don't try to have 2 major resellers in one country. We usually work with 1 major reseller in the country, and they take sub-resellers under him. It's a much better working arrangement because there's no competition between several resellers, main resellers in one country. Again, Tekias created relationships with many partners, Makino reseller, Haas reseller, also with Iskar, with Kennametal. Again, you see the relationship are usually with either machine tool resellers or manufacturers, or with tool resellers or manufacturers. Okay, so SolidCAM Turkey, you see the location of all their sub-resellers. They cover a big portion of Turkey, and they have made SolidCAM name in Turkey one of the most powerful names in CAM. We see here an examples of SolidCAM international customers, big names like Honda, Intel, Daimler, Chrysler, Dornier. Rafael is a big aerospace company, Elbit Systems, Futaba, big. Boston Scientific, this was our first major customer in the United States. They manufacture stents, and they have SolidWorks all over the company. So they took SolidCAM in 2002 from the start, and they have now, I think, more than 10 seats of SolidCAM, and they are very happy with SolidCAM. So As you see, SolidCAM customers include small job shops, medium-sized engineering and manufacturing company, and also large aerospace and automotive companies. But actually, in the numbers, the small and medium job shops are the majority, and we have customers in the aerospace, automotive, machine design, electronics, medical, optics, military, consumer, energy, production shop, mold tool and die, prototyping, and obviously in technical education. Now, we talked about the company. Let's talk about our technology. We have invented and patented a major technology called iMachining. It provides unbelievable cycle time savings and unmatched tool life expansion. I mean, you can get savings from 70%, even up to 90% with iMachining 3D. Obviously, iMachining 2D is for 2.5D parts, and iMachining 3D is for 3D parts, mainly molds. Let's look more in detail what is iMachining. iMachining has two modules. First module is the intelligent toolpath generator, and that's where the I come from, intelligent. Also, you could say artificial intelligence. It has a lot of artificial intelligence, this module. This toolpath generator calculates efficient, mainly morphed spiral toolpaths with a minority of toroidal toolpaths. And then we have the technology wizard, which automatically calculates the varying cutting feeds and speeds for each point of the toolpath to maintain constant cutting force on the tool. And this last sentence is the essence of iMachining. We maintain all the time constant cutting force on the tool by varying the feed and the cutting angle or engagement angle. As we see in the next slide, the customer defines minimum and maximum cutting angles. So all the time the tool cuts between these two limits. Obviously, when it's cutting with a small angle, it could go faster feed. When it cuts with a bigger angle, it slows the speed. This is all done automatically. The customer doesn't have to think about it. So the wizard automatically changes according to the cutting angle, the variable feed. Again, as I said before, to keep always constant cutting force on the tool. We have two additional patented unique features in iMachining. To the left, you see the morphing spirals. These are spiral toolpaths that are morphed to the shape that is cutting. So as you see in the left, in one direction it has bigger stepovers, in the other direction it has smaller stepovers. What we see on the right is another feature of iMachining. We have intelligent separation, which means if the area to be cut is too long in this case, we cannot do morphed spiral. So we create channels using toroidal milling, as you see here in this figure, and we divide this area into 3 sub-areas, where each sub-area could be done with the most efficient toolpath, which, as I said before, is morphed spiral. So the end result is like this. You see, the channels are made of toroidal toolpath, and then the 3 areas, the sub-areas that were generated, have morphed spirals. So in iMachining, our direction always is to have maximum morphed spiral, because these are the most efficient toolpath. Now let's come to the wizard. Why we need the wizard? And by the way, we are the only technology of this type that has a wizard. You see, if somebody is working in a machine shop and he's new to machining, fairly new, coming from a vocational center, or maybe he's working even 5 years and then suddenly he gets a new material that he hasn't cut before. So he has to choose manually the feeds and speeds. So if he really wants to take everything into account and create the optimum manually feed and speed, he has to take in account all the material properties, as you see, cutting speed, hardness, maximum step, minimum step. He has to know all the properties of the tool. See, about 5 of them are all important to calculate the best feed. The geometry, the depth of the cutting, and last but not least, the machine properties: maximum speed, maximum feed available, maximum power, memory size. I don't think anybody can take all these factors into account unless he's working 20 years in a machine shop. And again, even if he's working 20 years, he might get a new metal that he doesn't know, much harder metal, and he doesn't know how to calculate the feeds and speeds. All this is solved automatically by the technology wizard. We provide the customer with SolidCAM material and machine database that has all the properties of the different materials he wants to cut and the different machines he has. And then the technology wizard automatically takes the guesswork out of setting how fast the CNC machine should spin and feed the cutting tool, adjusting the stepovers and how deep to cut. So basically, somebody using the wizard is like getting thousands of years of machining experience at the tip of your hand. I could tell you, sometimes it happens in the US, for example, that people who are mechanical engineers who never did machining, they suddenly decide, the management decide that they should do some machining. So they buy them a machine and they say, okay, start doing a prototype. They have no idea about the different metals, what the feeds and speeds should be. And for them, this wizard is a godsend. And they are so happy using the wizard. So if you have any customer who doesn't have a lot of machining experience, for him, iMachining is a godsend. The only thing the user has to define, something we call the iMachining slider, that defines the metal removal rate. We have 8 levels from 1, which is small metal removal rate, to 8, which is the maximum metal removal rate. Why we don't work always at level 8? Because sometimes, let's say you have to manufacture a batch of parts. So for the first part, you don't know yet how good is your fixtures, how good is the machine. So you start in the beginning with a level, let's say 3 or 4. You cut, you see everything is going okay. You hear the sounds, everything is going okay. By the way, the music of iMachining is beautiful, especially since it prints money to the customer. Anyway, it saves cycle time and increase tool life. So the first part, you could make it to level 4, and then for the rest, you can go to level 6, 7, or even 8. You are always protected by the wizard. Nothing will happen to the tool, nothing will happen to the machine, and nothing will happen to the part. Perfect combination, and we guarantee first part success. Another major feature of iMachining, it cuts very deep, as you see to the picture on the right, with many contact points to the tool. So this eliminates vibrations. While usually if you cut without iMachining, usually you take small down steps with a few contact points with the possibility for vibrations. Let me give you some real cases from customers. Like this customer was doing electronic products, and he was doing iMachining 2D in aluminum metal. So his standard cutting time, when I said standard cutting time, it means using the standard pocket offset technology of most CAM systems, took him 17 minutes. With iMachining, cutting time was reduced to 6 minutes for each part, saving 65% of cycle time. So for 400 pieces, he saved 73 hours and 20 minutes, a major saving. Here's another customer who had using iMachining in titanium cutting, a much harder metal. Again, standard cutting time was 17 minutes, and then iMachining 2D reduced this to 3.5 minutes only, 18% savings. If I go to the previous one, he had 65% saving in aluminum, which is a softer metal, and then 80% saving in titanium, which is a harder metal. So this is the beauty of iMachining. The harder the metal is, the bigger the saving is. Unbelievable. Let's see another customer cutting 3D parts, both using iMachining 2D and 3D in aluminum, again, aluminum, and he said he had savings of 65 to 75% in machining time. One last customer who was cutting only with iMachining 3D reduced his time from 146 minutes to 28 minutes in steel, again saving of 81%. I mean, these numbers sound as unreal. How can you save so much? But we do. And that's why when a customer uses iMachining, he gets addicted to it. Sometimes customers don't believe us, so we say, okay, get the standard model of SolidCAM and we give you iMachining for evaluation for 3 months. Never happened a situation where such a customer didn't buy the iMachining after 3 months evaluation. And you know, with iMachining, you don't need much training. As you saw, there's only the level slider, and with 3D iMachining, it's basically a one-click operation. You just click on the solid model. Everything else is done by the software. And to protect ourselves, we have 4 iMachining patents on our product that our competitors cannot copy. So let's look at a comparison of iMachining with other so-called similar technologies that our competitors use. The most prevalent one is VoluMill, used by many CAM companies. I will show it in the next slide. Dynamic mill of MasterCAM, adaptive roughing in NXCAM, profit milling in Esprit, and TrueMill in SurfCAM. Let's look very quickly on this comparison. If you look at the first row is iMachining. We are patented, and our main technological approach is constant cutting force. If you go down, you will see VoluMill has constant step over, dynamic mill constant engagement angle, adaptive roughing constant engagement angle, again profit milling constant step over, and the last one constant engagement angle. All these technologies are much more inferior to our technology of constant cutting force. And that's the reason also why we can have a result, while with the other technologies, they can't have a result. I'll show it in the next slide. Obviously, iMachining, again, as I explained before, it has variable cutting angle. It changes between the minimum and the maximum, and accordingly, variable feed to maintain constant force. We generate maximum morph spirals, which are the most efficient tool paths. And we have also very nice thin wall handling. It's a problem when sometimes there's a thin wall and you cut it and then you ruin the whole part. And we know how to do it with iMachining without ruining the part. Let's look at another technology comparison with our competitors. Again, you see the first column. iMachining is the only one who has a wizard for automatic calculation of feeds and speeds. None of the others have a wizard, and they cannot have wizards like ours because, again, we are the only one who generate constant force on the tool. That's why we can have a wizard. So we have the shortest possible learning curve. That's true, I said it already. We have the best shortest cycle time. We cover the complete process. For 2D iMachining, we do both roughing, roughing, rest roughing, and finish. All the other systems do only roughing. And as I said, because we use the wizard, we can always guarantee first part success, no guessing. Let's see here one happy customer of iMachining. Hear very nicely what he says about iMachining.
My hopes is that not too many people learn about iMachining because it is my biggest competitive edge.
Okay, now that we talked about our major iMachining technology, let's talk about SolidCAM 2021, which I said SP1 was released yesterday, and it was released for customers. About a couple of months ago, we released SP0 for our resellers to learn our new product because it has so many new things. And now we released it with SP1 to customers. And you might say, how could it be a 3-year exciting journey? Because last year we released 2020. You see, 2020 is an excellent version, and it was a small advancement over 2019. So while we were releasing 2020, a very good and stable version, we were already working on SolidCAM 2021, and it took us 3 years to really finish everything and do very long QA, because we wanted to make sure that with SP0 and SP1 we'll have the best stable version, and we did it. We're doing QA for nearly 1.5 years for this exciting version. What are the new things in this version? Design and implementation of completely new tool table. I will show it soon, and obviously there will be a whole lecture about it by Michael Vinetsky, our VP for Product Management. We designed and implemented a completely new SolidCAM simulator. I will talk later about it. And we did a lot of enhancements in all SolidCAM modules. By the way, those of you who attended our 7 webinar series of What's New in SolidCAM 2021 have seen all these advantages. And whoever missed these live webinars, we have the recordings of all these webinars, 7 webinars in our website. You could go and watch them at your ease. Okay, why did we create a powerful new tool table? You see, 3 years ago, we decided we want to be #1 in the Milton and Swiss market. And we saw that our previous tool table of 2019 and 2020 had limitations if you want to really support all the capabilities and features of Milton and Swiss models and machines. So we decided to rewrite completely our tool table and create a completely new table, and this is the result. But one thing we made sure, that when you transfer parts from 2020 to 2021, from the previous tool table to the current tool table, the flow is perfect. There is no problems at all. We checked this for a whole year. So we always make sure when you move from one version to the next version that there is no problems of compatibility, none at all. Something that Esprit made a big mistake when they moved to their new version, Esprit TNG. I will mention a little more about it. One of our lectures will talk a lot more about Esprit TNG and its limitations. With this new tool table, we have tooling system parts separately and commonly combined together to create a more tool assembly. As you see in the middle, this is the picture coming from SolidCAM new tool table, and to the right and left of it are actual pictures of tool assemblies. As I said, we create complex tool assemblies supporting multi-body holders and multi-tool assemblies, as you see here in the figure on the right. Also, as I said, the reason we made the new tool table is to have perfect support for Swiss-type machines. And as you see here, we can define machine setup with modules, easily move models from station to station in the Swiss machine, and store the machine setup in library. A big help for anybody doing Swiss-type cutting. And another major advantage of our new tool table is that we can build tool assemblies with downloaded STL models. You see, most tool makers are now putting their tool data in the cloud. So now with new SolidCAM 2021 tool table, you could choose your preferred online source, such as iMachining, Machining Cloud, eSCAR database on the cloud, Kennametal, or any other tool manufacturer, and download all the components from which you build your tool assembly and holder assembly. Also, we added another very interesting feature. We call it machine preview. You see, we didn't want you to wait till the end of your operations and see full machine simulation. Full machine simulation takes more time, and you are looking at the complete thing. If you want to look, you are just adding a new tool in a new operation. You just want to see how does it look on the machine. So we show you. Very quick. We show you the tool item and its schematic position and its connection with other machine devices, as you see in this picture. Really beautiful option for anybody doing this type of work. Next, this was our next major project in SolidCAM 2021, is our new simulator. I will tell you a very nice story about how this simulator developed. You see, in our current simulator in 2020, we have about 8 different modes of the simulator. We have host cut simulation, solid verify simulation, turning simulation. And the programmer who developed all these modes his name is Mark Furstein. He is in Canada, in SolidCAM Canada, in Vancouver. And he was the one who worked on all these modes for nearly 10 years. And then one day, 3 years ago, he decided, enough. I want to make a completely new simulator with no modes. One simulator that contains all the modes inherently. So he started developing the new simulator, working very closely with our CTO of SolidCAM US, Anthony Calderon, who helped him define specifications. And they worked for 3 years, and they came up with this new simulator that is no other simulator in any other CAM system can approach it in terms of ease of use, looking graphically excellent, and all the features that it has. We see here some examples that you see in the simulator, and as I said, there is a complete webinar given by Anthony Calderon on this simulator. You can find it in our website. As you see, beautiful, beautiful graphics in this new simulator that you can see exactly what is happening in the machine eventually. Even turning simulation, which is usually 2D in our current simulation, you can do it on the 3D model by looking at a certain angle. And we also show the holder 2D shape to avoid part and holder collisions. And one option that will be coming very soon in our Service Pack 2 is our multi-channel SolidCAM simulator. We will be the only system in the world that has such a simulator for multi-channel machines. And as I said, we are doing it because we want to be the best in advanced mill turn and Swiss type machine, who usually have many, many channels. So having the SolidCAM simulator for multi-channels, while you are programming your part, as you see, we have the synchronization table to the left of the simulation. It's really a beautiful option. Okay, now I want to talk about the SolidCAM Innovations process, just a little about history. So I would say our integration with SolidWorks in 2003 was a major achievement. And then we introduced our HSM and HSS capabilities. Then we introduced our 5-axis capabilities. And then we launched iMachining in 2011, iMachining 2D. And about 2004, we launched our iMachining 3D. And now we are becoming the expert worldwide in mill turn and Swiss type machining. Mill turn. SolidCAM provides today the perfect solution for multi-turret and multi-spindle CNC machine with ultimate programming ease of use. As I said in my first slide, ease of use all the time. Easy to learn, easy to use. This has been our motto since SolidCAM was built in 1984, started. And also it provides flexibility and configurability. And as I said, SolidCAM completely supports Swiss type mill turn machines, including the very important multi-channel synchronization. Let's see, again, we come back to iMachining. What happened? Because iMachining can be used in conjunction with all our other technologies. Let's say, here we see iMachining being used in a mill turn cutting video. I will tell you when iMachining will start. Here is doing iMachining. iMachining in 4th axis. iMachining always generates the same size of parts. This is a big feature of iMachining. Again here, cutting using iMachining toolpath. You see again, the chips are all of the same size. Difficult to see, but actually if you saw it in reality, you will see that all the chips are of the same size. And this is generated automatically by the work of the conjunction of the toolpath with the wizard. Okay, I'm talking a lot about Swiss type. So why do Swiss type users need CAM? Because basically once, many years ago, a part was programmed for a Swiss type machine, and then it would run for 6 months, just day and night cutting the same part. Most of our customers today, they don't have this luxury. They usually could do 3 different parts of Swiss type in the same week. So again, the time taken to do the CAM programming become a bottleneck. So if they had only a programmer who can work only with G-code, it will take him too much time to prepare the G-code for 3 parts, and obviously the machines are getting more and more complex. Not only the parts are becoming more complex, the machines are getting more complex, more capable, more channels, more turrets, more tools, more complex. So programming and managing sync codes and access patterns for 2-3 channel machines have become very hard if somebody wants to do it only through G-code programming. And again, somebody doing just G-code programming is missing a most important function, simulation and verification of the toolpath. So basically, if he doesn't have a CAM system, he cannot simulate and verify the toolpath, and what he has to do after working for several days making the G-code file, he has to test it on the machine itself, which is a very dangerous thing since these machines have very limited working space and something could collide and break the machine. So it's clear anybody today who has a Swiss type machine, they need a CAM system if they really want to do their job well. So, as I said, a Swiss type programmer by G-code is not efficient, and again, not only not efficient, it's very difficult to recruit. I mean, it's really the most difficult thing. I know it because we have recruited Swiss type experts who had worked by G-code both in Israel, in the US, in the UK. It took us a long time to find such experts doing G-code programming of Swiss type. So, using SolidCAM Swiss type module, the programmer works significantly faster. As I said, he needs to because he has to do many pieces in the same week, and he becomes much more productive. And also, all his knowledge is included in the CAM program. While if he did only by G-code, it will be difficult for somebody else if, in case he leaves or he is not available, to understand the G-code program. But if everything is done with a CAM system, it's much easier for somebody else to take over and understand the CAM process, simulate it, and send to the machine. And actually, we did one more step further because Swiss type machines are really a bit complicated and not everybody understands them. And as we said, our salespeople usually, they talk the language of the machine shop. So we created a special document for mill-turn and Swiss type salespeople. It's a beautiful document. I'm going to send it to all of you, our resellers, so that if you go to when your salespeople go to a customer, together with the technical person, the salespeople also will be able to engage the customer and talk his language. And it's very important to give confidence to the customer. And I could say that we are the #1 and only Swiss type solution in SolidWorks, because as we saw before, the other MasterCAM are not really pushing the integration with SolidWorks, and CAMWorks, they don't have real Swiss type solution. So we have the advantage of being the #1 and only Swiss type solution today within SolidWorks. And I could tell you, SolidWorks is very prevalent, for example, in the US, in all machine shops. I would say at least 60 or 70% of machine shops in the US already have SolidWorks, using it for simple design, for fixture design, other design capabilities. And you know, to develop a good system for Swiss type is a very hard project. It took us a couple of years to do that. You see here in this Lego system, all the components of a successful Swiss type system, the VMID, the MCO, machine control operations, the machine preview, the pattern support, and most important is the channel synchronization. None of our competitors have as good a channel synchronization system like ours. For example, Esprit has channel synchronization from several years ago. when we designed our channel synchronization, we studied all our competitors and based on our own knowledge, made the best channel synchronization. And everybody uses SolidCAM for switch type. They say nobody can compete with you on channel synchronization. And this is a very important function for programming CAM parts in Swiss machines. Now I am talking to you as a SolidCAM reseller for Swiss type solution. What do you need to be number one in Swiss domain? You need first, hire a Swiss CNC expert. This is a very, very important person in your team, because when you have a Swiss CNC expert, he can go and become the main demonstrator together with the sales person, or he can even himself go by himself, because he talks the language of the machine shop owner, who probably knows a lot about Swiss CNC. And if he sees our demonstrator talking the same language, he has confidence that we know what we are talking about. Actually, in Israel, we have such an expert who actually sometimes goes to a new machine shop and gives them tips how to manufacture their part better with their Swiss type machines. Completely amaze them. Second, you have to find prospects that have Swiss CNC. And here I would say there are two sources of prospects. First, your existing SolidCAM customers. Many of our SolidCAM customers worldwide who have SolidCAM for 3D milling, for simultaneous 5-axis, with iMachining, have also a Swiss type machine. So such a customer who is already a happy customer with SolidCAM, and since we agreed together in the previous slides that you cannot do manual G-code programming for a Swiss type, very inefficient, and you need a CAM system, obviously the next step for such a customer is to get our Swiss type module. It's a very natural step. And I can tell you last year, Speaker Friedman, our VP sales for Israel, sold 20 Swiss type modules. Half of them were to existing SolidCAM customers. Now, what about the other half? The other half are companies, machine shops, working with another CAM system for their 2.5D 3D milling 5-axis, and again, doing manual G-code programming for their Swiss type machine. We had 10 such customers in Israel from our 20 we sold to. And in all these customers, what happened is the following. We showed them our Swiss type solution, they fell in love with it, they bought it, and then later they fell in love with the SolidCAM system at all, and then they bought from us also SolidCAM for their 2.5D, 3D, and simultaneous 5-axis. And we created a complete turnover of the machine shop to SolidCAM by entering to the Swiss type niche. Again, if you look on the top to the right, you need either to develop or use proven post-processors. We have already in our international support team in Serbia a database of 50 or 60 major post-processors for different machines. And if you go to a new customer and he has one of these machines, probably you can take this proven post-processor and just do some customizing. Very rare that you will have to develop a completely new post-processor from scratch, but it could happen also. Another important item is the training process. You see, many times we found out that the CAM programmer running the Swiss type machine really doesn't know the machine well, because it was newly purchased and he doesn't know the machine well. So sometimes they depend on our trainers not only to train him on SolidCAM Swiss type functionality, but to train him on using the machine. And this is very, very important for a lot of customers. Customer success story, very interesting. A company making implants. They had Next Turn and Hanover machines, 8 machines. And this customer was completely new to us and very interesting. He had GipsCAM for some time, but they kicked GipsCAM out because they couldn't work with it. Then they got Esprit. Now, with Esprit, the problem was that the reseller of Esprit didn't have enough expertise and technical bandwidth to support them. So when we came with our technical expert and with our fantastic module for Swiss type, we kicked out Esprit, and now this customer is a happy customer of SolidCAM, using many seats of SolidCAM switch type module, because this customer is doing only switch type cutting for dental implants. So what about, as I said, we have a database of about 50, 60 post-processors already available in our International Technology Center in Serbia. Typical machines we support already with Post, Star, Tsugami, Citizen, these are the most famous, DMG Mori, Tornos, Index, Traub, Hanwha, Nexter, Nomura, and many others. You have all this information, by the way, in our SolidCAM forum. Please become members there and watch all the information that is stored there. You will be very happy. Now, I don't want you to think that we only do iMachining and switch type and mill turn. We have an excellent 3D mill offering. It contains several modules: HSR, high-speed roughing, HSM, high-speed machining, turbo HSR, HSM, much faster modules. I will show a slide about it. Obviously, iMachining 3D, the best tool for roughing for 3D dies and molds, for example. And there is the HSS for specific surface cutting, a very powerful module. So what is the turbo HSR? Why I call it turbo? Because it has multi-core support. It has 64-bit calculation, and the speed of calculation increases as the number of cores increase. So we have also very fast recalculation and obviously excellent toolpath. And this was a later addition to our 3D mill offerings. And again, we come back again to iMachining because, as I said, iMachining 3D is great for rough cutting of 3D molds, for example. And then you can do the finish using HSM, Turbo HSM, and other capabilities. So let's see here an example of 3D iMachining cutting. It shows 3D iMachining cutting complex mold shape. And 3D iMachining basically its technology is based on the 2D iMachining technology. It looks at the shape at different levels, and each level is cut using iMachining 2D, and then it combines all these toolpaths in the most optimum way. And if iMachining 2D can save 60, 70, 80%, iMachining 3D can save sometimes up to 90% of machining time. Unbelievable. Now I want to come to SolidCAM simultaneous 5-axis offering. Here I want to say something. Most of you know Hypermill. Hypermill have been doing marketing for their simultaneous 5-axis for so many years, so aggressively, that people think that Hypermill is the best in simultaneous 5-axis. And this is simply not true. Let me give you a small story about our simultaneous 5-axis. You see, in 2003, we were developing our own simultaneous 5-axis capability, and I realized it's a difficult technology to develop. So in Germany, I met at one of the exhibitions Yavuz Murtazaklu. He was at the time developing an add-on to Mastercam using C-hook for simultaneous 5-axis. He has finished the development, and then he was actually a partner in a Mastercam reseller. And then Mastercam offered him to buy all his technology and patent and everything on simultaneous 5-axis, and paying him $600,000 for this technology. So he was debating, should he do it or not? When I met him, he said, look, I have an idea to create a company that sells technology to the other CAM companies. And I want to take my simultaneous 5-axis and make it the first module that my company will offer, and also it included also machine simulation. He said, but to take this decision, I need at least 2 CAM companies to sign with me now before I do this step. I accepted on the spot, and we signed a contract with him to get from him the simultaneous 5-axis module, and he formed his own company called SolidWorks today, and we got from him the simultaneous 5-axis about 2 years later module, and we integrated in our own simultaneous 5-axis offering. And I could tell you SolidWorks today has 200 development people worldwide, in Germany, in Romania, in many other countries, and they provide CAM modules to so many of the CAM companies. And we work very closely with them. Ahmad Onkar, whom you'll see in 2 presentations about SolidCAM 3D milling and simultaneous 5-axis milling, and he's also our product manager for both, works very closely with SolidWorks. He tests all the new functionality coming in their module. They release about 2 or 3 times a year improvements. He tests them, he gives his request, they develop well what he requests, and as a result, since they are working with maybe 30 CAM companies who license this module, so they are getting feedback from all these companies. So their product is developing much faster than a product like Hypermill, which is developed by one company and used by only one company's customers. And actually, this idea of getting modules is what made us reach such a high level quickly. Because, you know, if you have to develop everything, it takes too much time. Look at somebody making an airplane like Boeing. It doesn't make its own engines. It gets the engine. It doesn't get other electronic technology. So basically the same in software. In SolidCAM, whenever we can get a nice module, good module from another company, we get it, pay them the royalties, and integrate it fast. And then we know we have the best, and somebody else taking care of developing it further. And we concentrate on our own technology, like iMachining, like our Swiss type, and mill-turn technology. So it's a win-win for us and for SolidWorks. And we are working with them still from 2003 till today, for 18 years, getting more and more technologies from them, like our turbo HSM, HSR is also coming from SolidWorks. So coming back to our simultaneous 5-axis, we have several levels. First, there is the generic 5-axis milling, And then we have specific applications, multi-axis machining, multi-blade machining, port machining, rotary machining, and we get in the new version 2021, edge breaking, edge trimming, and auto 3+2 roughing. Let's have a quick look at these capabilities. Multi-axis machining, it rough out and finish pocket-shaped geometries in full 5-axis. And what we added in this version, the capability to do wall and floor finishing using a new generation of tools called circle end mills. This is the new generation of tools that are using 5-axis. They have a barrel profile, and tool manufacturers promise up to 90% reduction in machining time when using circle end mills. Now I can tell you a nice story about this. Last month we had a major competition against Hypermill in the US. It was a $75,000 deal, and the customer liked our simultaneous 5-axis because of its integration in SolidWorks and its easy-to-use user interface. But then Hypermill salespeople told him, "You need support for barrel mills." He said, "Yes." They said, "SolidCAM cannot support barrel mills." So our manager in the US wrote in the SolidCAM forum, "Who has a video of SolidCAM cutting barrel mills?" In a couple of hours came back the answer from SolidCAM UK with a video showing SolidCAM cutting with barrel mills in their technology center. And then came another video from Slovenia, and the customer was convinced, and we won against Hypermill in this very important deal. So that's the advantage of the SolidCAM forum, which I urge you to visit every day, every week. You could contribute, become a member, contribute your own input to it, see what's there. It's great for your business. And even customers can visit the forum, look at all the technologies available, see all the videos there, the webinars. It's good for all customers, prospects, and our resellers, obviously. Okay, as I said, we have new functionality of 5-axis in SolidCAM 2021. First, the edge trimming operation. It is used on casting to get their final shapes, and also on vacuum formed parts. We need this edge trimming operation. Edge breaking. This is a beautiful function that is not available in any other CAM system, including Hypermill. You see, when you are cutting, sometimes burrs are caused by the tool. So the SolidCAM edge breaking toolpath automatically detects these edges and creates a deburring toolpath. It's really a godsend for somebody who needs to get rid of all the burrs created during the machining process. And last, our auto 3+2 roughing, which is automatically creates 3+2 roughing toolpaths automatically, and it finds automatically the optimal direction, and it's really very fast to do cutting from several sides automatically. Let's see again, back to iMachining. iMachining 3D can also be used for roughing, and then we use simultaneous 5-axis for the finishing. Let's look at this video. iMachining 3D and simultaneous 5-axis milling. This is iMachining 3D starting. You see how big the downstep is. It uses the whole length of the tool. Because we are not afraid that something happens to the tool, because we always know that the wizard is protecting us and creating constant cutting force on the tool. So we can take very deep cuts that no other system can take with regular technology. So in iMachining 3D, first you do big down steps to take most of the material out. Probably he will go for another step after this first step. And as you see again, the chips are all of the same size, very nicely. And usually when you hear iMachining, you don't hear any stringed voices. It's very smooth when it's cutting. So here it has cut 2 down steps. We jumped, and it's cutting, going up again every step, and only cuts where we have rest material. Doesn't go all around if not needed. It only cuts at each step the extra material left from the first two down steps. And now we go to the finishing stage where we are using our simultaneous 5-axis impeller machining module to cut the finishing of this part. So you see, iMachining 3D is really very useful for 3D shapes, for cutting fast, doing all the roughing of such 3D shapes. Okay, I think we have been going on for at least 1 hour. Now we come to the last slide. Here I am talking about our SolidCAM major new projects. Michael Bineski, our VP for Product Management, will give a very detailed presentation. Actually, it's the last presentation of tomorrow about all these new projects, but I will give you here a sneak peek into these projects. First, a major project is our next phase of advanced mill turn and switch type. As I said, we want to be #1 in, we are already #1, and we want to keep ourselves as the #1 in advanced mill and switch type market. We'll be adding U-axis turning, free turn, whirling, and other more modern technology support. The second major project is implementation of more artificial intelligence algorithm in SolidCAM, obviously in addition to our current iMachining AI, and you will hear a lecture about it by Anthony Calderon, our CTO for SolidCAM US, in the second day. So with these AI algorithms, we want to make SolidCAM much more intelligent, and you will hear more about it, as I said, in Michael's lecture, last presentation tomorrow. Third project is SolidCAM assembly. You see, till now, you can do in a SolidCAM project only one CAM part. But many customers wanted to do multi-CAM part in the same project. So in this way, we will enable it, and this will use the full capacity of the CNC machine. And last but not least, comes another project that might surprise you. You see, Michael Vinetsky, our VP Product Management, has been managing a machine shop for 4 years before joining SolidCAM. And he found out that nearly 60–70% of his time went into deciding which CAM part to do on which CNC machine when. So we are developing a tool that knows, a software tool that knows your CNC machine's constellation, and then provides the CNC machine's workflow management solution for a small or medium CNC machine shop, basically saving a lot of the time of the machine shop manager or of the person responsible for doing this synchronization. Okay, I think we came to the end, so thanks for watching. I am sure you have enjoyed, or I hope that you have enjoyed it. Have the patience to stay for all these 2 days, or at least most of them. Watch our amazing demonstrations, and you will not regret it. As I said in the beginning, whatever we promised, we usually deliver. Thanks, and enjoy the rest.